Well, good evening, guys. Welcome to BSU. We are back at it again. I'm Jeremiah Johnson. I am the Vice President of the Black Student Union. So we're going to start, we're going to go into what we need to go into today. Thank you guys for coming. Just want to let you guys know you are on camera. Viewer discretion is advised. Like if you would not like to be seen on camera, we ask that at this time you turn your cameras off. And if you would not like to say anything at the meeting, we completely respect that as well. All right, this is our agenda today. So we already did our welcome. Any reports today? Is there anything that we need to report out, Brittany?
I don't know if anybody else was going to get to this, but we do have positions open for parliamentarian and treasurer. The applications have been sent out to complete. The deadline for applications for both positions is this Wednesday, the 28th. So at 5, is it 5 o'clock p.m.?
11:59.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was gonna give y'all a business deadline. So by 11:59 Wednesday night is when we will be accepting those applications, and then we'll be reviewing them within the next few days.
And further information will be given to those who have applied. So we appreciate you guys so much. And if you would like to fulfill the treasurer and parliamentarian position, we really need that. Asher, do you have anything to report out?
No, not at the moment now. No.
Not at the moment. Yeah, everything I have to say is when we get to announcements.
Yeah.
Alrighty, icebreaker. Who do you most look forward to during the holidays?
That's what?
I mean, sorry, what? You know what? I guess I can't read today. What do you most look forward to during the holidays?
I can answer it. So, hey, well, I'll be looking forward to Thanksgiving only because I'm a foodie. Like, I really like food, and I'll be really, really, really excited to eat. Like, I do like seeing my family too. Like, it's the first like holiday. Like, I consider like a family holiday. So I get to see my family after like a really long time. It's always nice seeing them. So I'll say Thanksgiving.
All right, thanks, Michaela. Anybody else?
Man, as of right now, man, Thanksgiving. Cause man, I'm ready to go home. Cause I just want to go home. That's really about it. Like, bro.
I felt that. I would say I felt that a lot because I do want to go home and see my family. But I would say for my holiday, for the holidays, what I look most forward to is the vibe. It's just like, I know it's a false sense of security, of peace, happiness, and giving during these times because people bring up these ideas as if they only should be expressed only one part of the year. But I do enjoy, hearing that, we should love and care for all people. Anybody else, you can hit the chat box if you want to say like what you look forward to.
I most look forward to my birthday, which is the week of Thanksgiving. On a good year, my birthday falls on Thanksgiving, and I actually celebrate my birthday 3 times. It sounds extreme, but it's the truth. 2 times at the most, but I celebrated here, I celebrated in Chicago, and then I celebrate in Peoria. So I get like triple the presents, and I get Thanksgiving food. And my dad is coming.
Yeah, you're spoiled.
Yeah, so I'm so happy.
Oh, Chantel said, I look forward to my birthday, 11/16.
Hey, Sagittarius.
Okay, Chantel. See you.
He said 11/16.
All right, we gonna move on from the icebreaker. Okay, anybody else? She said, honey, I'm a Scorpio. Okay,
I'm sorry.
Devon said he's excited for the new year. 2021 has to be better than 20. I swear, 2020 was trash, bro.
Thanks.
Like it was.
Thanks. I was just thinking that too. Like right now, the only holiday I'm really looking forward to is the New Year.
Like,
I felt that. I definitely felt that. So we're gonna move on from this icebreaker. So today's meeting, guys, is going to be strictly about Black mental health. This meeting is catered towards your health. If you need to vent, if you need to get anything out, we understand that these are troubling times right now, especially with police violence. Not only that, classes and other pressures that are unforeseen. So we just wanted to cater. I mean, every meeting is catered to you all, but this meeting is especially catered to your mental health. So on Black mental health, guys, what does mental health mean to you?
that's tough.
I really think it's like a very deep topic, like definition to me. But just on a more like superficial note, I would just say like it means like mental stability and like taking care of yourself and making sure that you're mentally able to like I don't know how to explain it, but basically just mental stability. I'm gonna just keep it at that to be general.
Right. I felt that. Anybody else? What does mental health mean to you? Like,
I can go.
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so to me, I think mental health just means wherever your headspace is at the time. Mental health isn't always good and it isn't always bad. It's literally like what you think of a situation and like how like a situation can be going on and if you feel negative or positive about it. So it's just really like your thoughts, but thoughts are kind of hard to escape. So yeah, that's what I feel.
I felt that. Anybody else? What does mental health mean to you? Like,
I'm not okay with. Like, I don't get
we
it.
can move forward.
Just really not letting this go.
Okay.
Guys,
So
can somebody mute their mic because I can hear somebody.
yeah.
It's a little distraction. Please. Yeah, I don't know who it is.
Yeah, can everybody mute their mic, please, so we can. Thank you so much for muting your mic. All right. What are some factors that contribute to your mental health? Like, how well do you know yourself? Like, what makes you whole?
Yeah, you said what makes us what? I'm sorry.
What makes you whole? What are some factors that contribute to your mental health? Like, what do you do in the rough times when you're not feeling mentally well?
I can go.
Go ahead.
I feel like the people that you surround yourself with, if you're around a lot of toxic people, then you're not going to feel too well mentally. But if you're around people that have a lot of positivity and a good outlook on life, it can make you feel better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would like to actually turn this discussion over to my GA Star because she has a lot more perspective on this than I do. So Star, if you would like to come up and finish the rest of these slides because you have more of a perspective and more knowledge on these Black mental health issues, and I feel like you would be better to facilitate this discussion.
You could have finished the questions.
I know, but I just feel like I want to listen.
Okay. Did anybody else want to talk about some factors that contribute to your mental health? No.
Okay. To answer like what he said about like what do we do, I could personally say like my family is very spiritual. So a lot of times when I do feel down or I feel like I'm overwhelmed, I listen to like gospel music. So that kind of helps me a little bit. It doesn't take everything away, but it definitely helps like in the moment.
Okay, yeah. So in the chat from Nathan, it says, I usually practice meditation and surround myself with positive people. Yeah, that's a really good thing to do. so different people have like different ways of going about their self-care and like the factors that contribute to their mental health. So I don't think it's new to anybody that the Black community is like mental health and counseling is like a taboo in the Black community. That's not something that's really talked about. It's more so something that's swept under the rug. If you're having problems, it's known to you either go to your family, go to your church, or you just leave it where it's at. It's not something that's talked about because I know in my family personally, it was either you go to church or you talk to your parents about it. You don't go to a counselor because that's seen as essentially going to the white man about your problems. So I guess another question is what are some barriers to being able to seek treatment for the Black community?
My name's Caitlin. I don't know if y'all can see my camera off, but I know like when I first started going to therapy, I had to like I don't know, I had to like get rid of that stigma like Black people don't talk about their problems, because I feel like we really need to focus more on, trying to build ourselves mentally, because we do neglect it a lot. So I had to like really just, tell myself like, okay, this is for me, because I can't fix my mind. My mom can't fix it. And luckily my mom is like really open and she's gone to therapy, she has friends who are therapists, so I grew up in a household where, going to therapy was okay. But when I started saying things to my friends like, oh, I can't go hang out, I gotta go see my counselor, like they were like, a counselor? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, you crazy? So I feel like we need to let that stigma go and stop, talking about people or, downgrading others for seeking that help.
I would say, and to point off what you just said, a barrier to, getting mental health is really finances. I wasn't able to really get financial assistance and mental health counseling until I was able to come to college. So it's like, especially for Black people and wage gap issues, it's a lot. My parents could never afford mental health, and when in the Black community, especially when you start seeing a counselor, it's either you're crazy or there's something wrong with you, or you don't need to go see nobody. You all right, you fine. Girl, shake it off. Boy, shake it off. What you mean you need to see a counselor? And they'll be willing to invest in like sports and other activities before they're willing to, pay that expense to your mind and your emotional stability.
Thank you. Does anybody else want to go?
Yeah, I was actually gonna agree with him. So I'll say like one problem that I faced for me personally was, and I know like some other guys might have a situation, I say my gender. Like I feel like the fact that I'm a dude, I feel like I know in my family can be very toxic. The men in my family can be very toxic. So they had this weird, mindset that as a guy, you got to take everything on the chin and you're not really allowed to open up. So I feel like I have that issue, and I feel like a lot of Black men have that issue, and that can be like one barrier. Like we got to get rid of this culture that, oh, if you a dude or if you a Black man, you always got to take it on the chin, or you know, if you can't cry or none of that. Like if you feel like you gotta cry, go ahead. You human. You feel me? You're not a robot. You got emotions like everybody else. So I feel like that could be one thing to stop people from really opening up about mental health, especially Black men.
Yeah, that's really good. So I agree with everyone, what you all said about finances and then just like within like your own family. Some other barriers to mental health are transportation. I know is a big one, especially in like an urban area. And the biggest barrier that I've seen among the Black community is that there aren't a lot of Black therapists. And I've had students, because I work in TRIO, I've had numerous students come to me and say, I won't go to the counseling center because there are no Black therapists in there. And for me personally, I'm the same way. I go to the counseling center, but for me, I'm the same way because I don't feel as if a white therapist, a white woman is going to understand what I'm going through. So I think this ties into the next question. Why do you think some African Americans will not seek treatment as far as counseling? And I know that's a big one. So I wanted to know if anybody else has any other answers for that question.
I feel like sometimes we are, I guess, miseducated about how counseling works. So I know, like, a few years ago, I was going to counseling and I stopped because I felt like it was working and I felt like I was fixed. But in some ways, I knew I wasn't. And I think that, like how other people say, when you allow outside influences to make you feel like what you're doing is wrong or what you're doing does not help, that can be an issue because in the end, you don't get the proper treatment that you need. And I think also one thing I know about for other people is knowing exactly you might not know how to express your feelings, but knowing that that is a space where it's okay to express your feelings. And I feel like among the African American community, like we said, we don't talk. We fall into a lot of unhealthy habits that are coping mechanisms that work at first, but they don't work really much at all.
Thank you, Brittany. Does anybody else want to go? Okay, so I guess we'll move to the next slide. Jeremiah, can you go to the next one?
I got you.
Okay, so the facts when it comes to counseling and within the Black community is that African Americans are 20% more likely to have serious psychological distress than their white counterparts. And suicide is the third leading cause of death among African Americans ages 15 to 24. And then the portion of African Americans who need mental health treatment and get it is only half of that of whites. Only 6.2% of psychologists, 5.6% of advanced practice psychiatric nurses, 12.6% of social workers, and 21.3% of psychiatrists are members of a minority group. So after reading those facts, how does that make you all, like, what is going through your mind, like, after reading that or hearing that?
I know for me, majoring in social work, I feel like those numbers can get higher depending on your major. So me going into social work, I want to be a part of those numbers. And pretty much I just want to be a part of those numbers because, like I said, I'm majoring in social work.
Honestly, it makes me sad. It makes me sad that our community is a community of special interests and we don't have a lot of representation to go to, which is a large problem. I mean, even within our university, I mean, though like there is a counseling services, there are not many Black social workers, or counselors here. Like, what Black counselor wants to work in Charleston? Like, they don't. And it's because they don't want to deal with the prejudice and discrimination that comes with living down here in Charleston. And honestly, it makes me upset because, I mean, I went to an all-Black high school and there was nothing but counselors and social workers, but it was nobody that I trusted. I felt like I couldn't trust them because they were always just not approachable. So it honestly makes me sad because it's not enough, and there is a dire need for that kind of work in our communities.
Thank you, Victoria and Jeremiah. Does anybody else want to go?
Yeah, I go. I feel as if we as like black minorities are afraid to express ourselves. The reason I say that is because like I don't know if you guys remember like well 90s babies, but back like in 2002 and all the way up until like 2015, there used to be counselors inside of high schools, elementary schools, and different things like that. That could, we had the different black counselors, like just in case somebody got into a fight and different things like that. They took the counselors out, and now when those young men that are going through mental health issues and they snap on people and go through these things, when they get in fights and different things like that, they are taken away in handcuffs, made an example of. And I feel as if sometimes we are afraid to express ourselves because we feel like we are targeted in a way, as in we look like we are crazy, we look like we are criminals and different things like that. So me personally, I feel like it's just a fear of being accepted into the society that makes us not want to express ourselves to people.
Thank you, Marcus. So I'm gonna ask Jeremiah to stop sharing his screen for like a couple of minutes. Okay. So one of my cohort members, Kareen, is in this meeting, and we're both in the counseling and higher education department. We're in the program, we're second years. So we're going through our internship right now. And she's just gonna talk about like mental health within the Black community, and also is gonna explain some things about the counseling program.
Hey everybody. Thank you, Star, for inviting me. I literally just got home from my internship. I came in on like the last bit of what you guys were saying, and everything that you were saying is factual. It's true. It's the things that we talked about in our cross-cultural class, especially representation. And I know that was a big reason for why I even decided to pursue a career in clinical mental health counseling. And not necessarily school counseling, in which I do think, because if you look at our cohort right now, because our program is a cohort model, which means it's a smaller amount of people split in half. So there's school and then there's clinical. Me and Star are clinical, and there's half who are school. There's less of a more diverse group of people for school counseling, especially down here, because someone said, like, who wants to be a counselor in Charleston? You're right, but then at the end of the day, it's harming the population of the university, because Eastern does have a large Black population, well, big enough than what it was before. And by them not having enough, Black counselors and Black social workers, psychologists on campus or even around the area, it makes it hard. And this school isn't an easy school to, attend. Considering where we are. But I did it, and one of my main things was representation. I'm sure that's also another thing that Star spoke about in our interviews. Like, we're doing this because we are aware that our community needs help, and we need to break the stigma, and we want to be a part of the numbers, like what Victoria said, because those numbers can absolutely increase. Someone told me that a lot of Black students major in psychology and social work, but they don't continue with their master's to be able to get the license to then work as a counselor, psychologist, or psychiatrist, which takes a PhD degree, a medical degree. And so the conversation is why. Someone said it's because of money, it's because of funds. Like, we have the short end of the stick at all times. So we are already beating odds, you guys being in college. And then it's like, okay, well, how many of you guys are going to go to get your master's, and then get your master's in a field where it's predominantly white? And at that, for men, it's predominantly white women. Even if a Caucasian individual wants to be a counselor in our program, how many do we have, Star? Like two guys in our program, in our cohort.
Yeah.
One is African American and one is Caucasian, and they were hesitant because it is a female dominated field, which also can be intimidating to males of any race. And so I think it's a great thing that you guys decided to have this conversation, because at this point, we're going to be the ones to birth the new generation. And so if we are having these conversations now, when we have kids, then they might be more acceptable and tolerant of mental health. And you guys can be better parents than your parents were. Not all of us had parents who were getting counseling, and it was a safe space to, like, talk about your feelings. Because, like Star mentioned, you're Black, like, keep it at home. Like, why are you going to talk to somebody? And then a white person, are you crazy? You know what I mean? So everything that you guys said is absolutely true, times like 100, because it's things that we're talking about currently in our class. And so I wanted to come in for you guys, if you had any other questions, and I know I wanted to talk about our program specifically a little bit more, in case anybody was interested in the counseling program in general, whether that is school or clinical. I am a part of the recruiting committee. Like last year, well, in the spring, I was a part of interview day. And so if you had any questions about that, I wanted to open up the space for you guys to do that.
My question is, you pointed out that we need more Black people on like Black people to talk to on campus, but me having experience on this campus is like 1 year, I transferred in last fall. So me coming into this campus, I experienced racism hardcore. Like, I went to a predominantly white high school, but at the same time, when I came into this institution that I will be furthering my education in, and eventually go into another white institution to work in, I feel as if, like, it's so hard. Like, last year, fall semester, we experienced the posters around campus. Now this semester, we experienced even more racism. So my question is, like, when is it enough? Like, when do we say, like, enough is enough? Like, I'm fed up. Like, I fought. We try to fight every day, and we still get treated like trash. And it's like, how much can we do in order for this campus to not be racist, And it's not just the campus, it's the people inside the institutions. You have the leaders on campus that lead this school, that do different things that they might not be intended to be racist, but it is racist. And my thing is, how can we train those people to understand what truly is systematically racism, and what is racism towards the Black community?
I get that. I also transferred here in 2016 for my undergrad. And we all know that's the year that Sir Trump was elected. And I remember the campus feeling eerie, and everybody was tense. And I remember giving a few threats, like, don't let this man get you in some problems. Like, let's be real. I've checked teachers, I've checked faculty, but that does get tiring. That takes a toll on you. Over the summer, with everything going on with George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery, we were in the midst of our internship, and we needed to get 300 hours in a span of 8 weeks. And we had classes, and we were breaking down, and we were crying every 2 seconds in every class because we were just so frustrated and angry. And we have teachers, luckily in our department, that heard us, and so by us showing up and sharing how we felt with those teachers that we felt safe with, they spoke about what we said in class. And she always gave us an opportunity to speak how we feel and speak our truth. That's the other perk about being in a program with all counselors. They're always like, well, how do you feel? Like, let me know about it. Even our program, to be honest, there was one African-American teacher, and she wasn't even a counselor. Now she switched to another program. And so there's really no diversity as it relates to our teachers in the program. And we've called out our teachers and said, well, we know that this curriculum and we know that a lot of these stats is mighty white. And it's because that's how psychology and everything started. When they were testing things, they were testing it on one specific population. So a lot of the ways we might diagnose a Caucasian individual and the way that we diagnose an African-American individual is different, because you can be having anxiety and somatic symptoms like your head is hurting, your stomach is hurting, you feel like crap, and you might be expressing your fear about the EIU PD or Charleston PD, and they might try to put it as something else when in reality, your experience is your experience. For somebody else that might be a different race, they might be depressed, they might be suffering from anxiety, but how you're feeling is literally panic to your circumstances. And so the way we look at both individuals should be different. To how to teach this school, I feel like by showing up, honestly, they're used to a specific population being occupying certain spaces. You know what I mean? I think we fight the good fight by showing up, honestly. When I told my family that I wanted to be a counselor, they looked at me like I was crazy. Like, what? That's a white profession. And then we hear that all the time. So then that discourages us from entering those arenas in those areas where we can make our voices be heard. Because when I'm here, you can't deny me. I'm here. I'm as qualified or more than you are. So I feel like possibly as it relates to this campus, just showing up and letting your presence be known and not backing down. And I know you get tired of hearing it's working twice as hard as the next person, but that's the only way we continuing to have conversations with our friends and families. And when, you know, if you don't have kids now, when you start having kids, having those conversations, and then we become the majority of more emotionally intelligent people and conscious people. And then now it's like, oh, we're making more changes and more differences than we thought we were. So I feel like as it relates to this campus, just showing up. Oh, I can't be here. Oh, you thought? Show up. You know what I mean? Let your voices be heard. This is what
I
we
was
did.
also gonna say with that, not to cut you off, Kareem, but it's like I said in the first general body meeting that you all had, you all were upset with the homecoming slogan. Everybody was. So it's like I said, you all are upset, but you all need to be on homecoming committee. We only have one Black person on the homecoming committee.
Yep.
And I guarantee you, if we had more Black people, that wouldn't have been a slogan. I said that in the first meeting. In my GA, surprisingly, we have 3 Black people that are GAs in my office. But we need more. It's like, it's basically what Kareen said, you need to show up. So I don't want to say get out of your comfort zone, but don't always stick to TRIO, which isn't strictly just for African-American students. But don't stick to just OIAE. Don't stick to what is just comfortable to the minorities. You need to show up in those different places so that they know that there's diversity and you all aren't going anywhere.
Absolutely. Because then they have to check their privilege. They have to check their microaggression, which is something we talked about. They have to check all of that every time, because we're not going to tolerate it. We are not our parents or our grandparents. We're going to check you in the most polite way that we can in the moment based on where we are. You're going to hear it. So you being there, they're going to have to check it. They're going to have to change.
What I think was so impactful, well, because I'm a political science major, and we always talk about Brown versus education and its impact. It repealed the doctrine of Plessy v. Ferguson, which was, separate but equal was legal. They could deny Black citizens access to certain areas and certain places specifically because they were Black. Once they got rid of, once they had the case Brown v. Board, which ended that doctrine, it's much harder for Black students and Black people to integrate into areas where they know that they are not welcome. And it's the fact that we know that we are not welcome in these places. It's the fact that we know that we are not welcome here. So is my mental health less important than what I know what they're going to do anyway? Racism is always going to exist. It's always going to happen. They have the power to do it. They always assert their power. So when it comes down to Black mental health, it's very much a strain that we know, even if possible, when we get into those rooms, they're not going to care about us anyway. Because guess what they're going to do? They're going to outvote us. Look at us. We vote for the homecoming thing. You think the Black vote outweigh the white vote on this campus? It don't. It never will. It takes years for that to happen. We can change people's perspective. We can change people's thoughts. We can attempt to change them, but we know how white people work. They're not going to change. We so used to this flatline conversation. Let's get into these rooms. But what happens when we get into these rooms? We get into these rooms and we meet discrimination. That's why there's HBCUs. And we came to a PWI wanting to be diverse, wanting inclusion. But as you can see, we're diversely segregated on this campus more than ever. I have a white roommate, but I mean, like, I know everybody else on this campus don't have a white roommate. But that's by choice because we became friends and we said, let's be cool. We gonna room together. But other people, they don't want to room with us. They don't like us. They characterize, our Black NPHC as Little Africa. So it's just like they push our Black sororities in the back. Every other Black fraternity don't have a fraternity house on this campus. How many fights we gonna fight? Because if we fight all these fights, they taking our energy, they taking everything out of us, and we still supposed to be trying to get an education. So they don't care about us here at Eastern. They really want us to fail.
I hear that. I hear that 1,001%.
I want to point out to Jeremiah's point. Me going into the field of law, I have interned at a lot of courthouses, and trying to be in those rooms is quite difficult. When I was filing like documents for attorneys and stuff in Markham Courthouse, attorneys would come in, white attorneys in specific would come in there and treat me like I'm their servant. Come file this paper for me. Come do this for me. Black attorneys, oh no, you ain't got to do all that. I like your assistance, but I could figure this out. And I feel like a lot of times we try to paint this image like let's suit up, let's boot up, let's put our dress clothes on, and let's try to get in this room. But the whole time, the room, they want to hear us talk. They love to hear us talk, but do our decision really go through? And I'm glad that we have this conversation because it just hurts how many fights we gonna fight. Like I fight every day. I fight every day. I'm trying to fight for my people till this day. I'm going on campus. I'm going in these rooms, trying to discuss different plans for EIU Black students, EIU minority students.
And our Black people don't want to fight, Marcus.
Exactly, and I get shut
down. I was
down.
just gonna say that, how it comes down to our willingness, right? And we can't fault each other for being tired, right? Because it's a fight. People have been fighting since the sun touched, you know what I'm saying? Like people been fighting from the beginning of time. And so we can't really fault our brothers and sisters for being tired, but it's just like, at some point it's like, which would you rather, right? Can sit down and take it or like try to make improvements? Because we've made a lot of improvements from the beginning of time. There's still a whole lot more left to be done, but those improvements didn't happen just because we just was like, all right, cool. Like they don't want to hear us. You feel me? Like they don't want us in these rooms. I'm not even gonna try. I'm gonna be over here and I'm gonna be in this segregated area that they put me in. You know what I mean? And that's why ownership on 1,000 level is even more important. You know what I mean? But until then, how do we make these changes? How do you propose we make these changes or try to teach? I don't believe in teaching nobody. You can Google it. It's free information. You feel me? Like that's just what it is. So it's just like, are you gonna continue to be ignorant on their part, or you gonna get it together? Which one you want to do? I know I'm not gonna sit in a corner and take it. I'm about to go into these white facilities, these white community mental health areas, because low economic people need mental health. Wherever I move, I'm gonna leave a mark. However that happens, I'm gonna be me authentically every time. I'm not from this country, so I got another thing on me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's a lot deeper than I was born here and this is what it is. No, I came from another country. I got a bunch of other things on my back. It's there. I'm here for a reason. The same way they feel like they're here for a reason, I'm here for a reason, and I'm gonna let that reason be known to everybody. Everybody gonna feel me at the end of the day. However that happens is however that happens.
I
So
feel you.
how?
I definitely feel you. But it gets to a point is, how do we fight Black complacency? Like, we're sitting here at this meeting and you see it's only 16 participants at this meeting.
Mhm.
It's like our Black students that actually do stuff on this campus are fighting other Black students that don't do nothing on this campus. People in organizations, and I'm just gonna say it flat out, have positions of authority, positions of power, you know, national backings, and they do nothing on this campus.
Mhm.
And we come here, and Brittany, Asher, Michaela, Marcus, when Devon was here, Sahil, Chantel, all of us in this room, we work so hard. And it's like we're fighting our own people for a voice. We shouldn't have to ask people to go on UB. It should already be people there. We push people. We tell people to do it. They don't want to do it. Black people, we always talking about how Black lives matters, but Black lives don't be mattering to Black people when it come down to it. So I'm sorry for fighting my own community. And it seems like we have to fight other people to get what we need on this campus. And it hurts.
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't have to fight Cece about a homecoming slogan. There shouldn't be a fight.
Absolutely not.
And that's
absolutely not. Everybody should be able to get it together. We should all be one band, one sound. You feel me? Like one sound, one band. We here with it. But that's the reality. Everybody isn't like that. It's messed up. It makes it a lot harder because those Black people that are conforming to the majority is making it hard for everybody else that want to be different. And that's the reality of it. We can't control what other people think and what they want to do. It sucks because we wish they would get it together, but that puts more pressure on you and your mental health. You can only control you, your thoughts, and your actions. You can make a suggestion for other people to do the same things that you want them to do. But if it's not in their heart, you're doing more harm to yourself.
Facts.
And that goes back to mental health. That's a lot of our problems. We expect people to do the things that we naturally would do. That's not the case. That's a lot of our problems. Me and Star, we in this program, but me and Star don't think the same.
And it's like you can't even expect everybody to, like, you know, think like you just because you was raised the same way. Like you can't make them care about something they just don't want to put effort into it. But I totally agree with you. I want to pronounce your name. Kareem.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, bro. Yeah, man. I you know, and you know, just especially just coming from Chicago and everything, and growing up, seeing what I had to see, and all the other stuff, man. Like, it do come to a point where you kind of wish that it didn't have to be that way, that you didn't have to like constantly have to persuade or get your own people to kind of really see the big picture and see what the problem is and kind of like break toxic kind of like cultural things that were like grown into us and everything, and it's like it's tough, man. Like it's real tough to like really fight it's really tough to fight things that doesn't have a physical presence. You know, like dang I'm sorry, it's this verse in the Bible. I keep forgetting it, but it basically talks about how we don't fight against, flesh and blood, but of dark principalities and forces and natures and all this stuff that like have higher positions in the world. And it's like, and that can be included in our own people as well, because at the end of the day, it's like, you, Jeremiah, you know where your heart is, and you know what the problem is, and you fighting for that, and you taking the steps that you need, you making the connections that you need, and just for everybody, who does it, including myself. I always try to put like, my niece and nephew on game. It's like they only like 10, 8 years old, and they don't even know, like, they don't know what's out here, prepare for them and everything, and it's like it kind of damn near scares me at the point, because it's like, I know once they get of a certain age, it's like I can't think for them. What I'm saying? They gotta think for themselves. They gotta take what I was able to help them with into this world, and what are they gonna do about it? What are they gonna do to change the narrative? And it's like at a point in time, it gets tiring, man. It gets tiring, emotionally, spiritually, like physically, mentally, but I'm not even gonna lie to you, man. Like I commend everybody, everybody, and just anyone who as much as they want to give up, as much as they want to just throw in the towel and quit, like they keep pushing, man. Like, and it's like the more I think about it now, the more I appreciate, our predecessors and those that like, paved the way for us to be where we at now, man. Like, because I can't imagine like the turmoil and the frustrations they had to deal with to just keep fighting, man. When they, those times they want to just give up and just quit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I commend you, bro. I commend everybody, man, who doesn't just quit, man. Who doesn't give up, who keeps pushing. Regardless of the challenge, man. We keep pushing.
It's like, where's the work? Like, I love y'all. I love the Black community. Where's the work? I mean, BSU, we've been meeting for how many meetings? And we can't get every Black person into one room. NAACP meets tomorrow. They can't get everybody in their room. Zetas have an event. We can't stack that room. Where are we at? Why aren't we there? Our presence is not a present. We earned to be here, and you got everybody here, all these Black faces here, but they're not here for the fight. They're not here for the long haul. And like, it hurts when I only see a select few organizations or a select few people, individuals, standing up and fighting for us, and nobody else is. Where are they? They posting pictures, they being cute, but where are they? They're not here. And that's what hurts the most.
I agree with you, Jeremiah. Like, me personally, I can take responsibility. Like, you asked me like last week, what have I been? Why haven't been coming to the meetings? And I told you I don't really do the whole Zoom thing. But I'm gonna keep it real with you. That wasn't an excuse. Like, the reason I ain't really been coming was because I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like, I've been struggling with my classes. I got shit going on at home. Excuse my language, but I got a lot of stuff going on at home. And Mondays it be the hardest day for me. But some told me today, you know what? Let me put my needs to the side, and just do something for my people. Let me check into this meeting. And that's what it really comes down to. You know what I'm saying? Putting your personal needs to the side and saying, it's greater than you. Because I feel like the reason there's not a lot of unity in the Black community, and we see that on campus, is because everybody here for themselves. You're not here for your brother. You're not here for your sister. You're here for your own stuff. And I'm guilty of that. You feel me? I can take responsibility and take accountability and say, I'm guilty of doing that stuff too. I put my own needs, my own struggles over up everybody else. And that's one of the reasons why I'm not really present as I should, you know, but I'm trying to do better with that. So I agree with Jeremiah, you know, there's no way we should have, you know, these many black faces on campus, but yet it's only 16 people in the meeting. You know, I feel like we never really gonna make any difference if we can't even come together.
I don't want to cut anybody short, but I just wanted to move on. But I agree with what everybody says. Also, I send 975 emails every Sunday and every Monday to an entire Black student list of undergrads. That's almost 1,000 students. And tonight is my fault because I said tomorrow, but y'all are in college. I send this every week. There's no reason that there should be 16 people in a BSU meeting. There's no reason. I haven't been to NAACP. There's no reason that it should be under so many, however many numbers at all. So I would appreciate it, and I'm sure the exec board would appreciate it if you all share the flyers and everything, share their events and stuff like that, because it's kind of sad how Zetas have stuff coming up. NAACP has a whole week dedicated to voting.
Mm-hmm.
NACWC had a whole Fed week last week and barely had people doing stuff for that. But there's more than 1,000 Black students on this campus, and that's grad people included. But I'm gonna move on. Jeremiah, can you share your screen again? I'm sorry.
Just had one point. You
I'll
can go
share.
ahead and share your screen, but I had one additional point to say to that, and it goes back to the complacency about people coming for their, you know, their own needs. I'm here to get this degree and get up out of here, especially Charleston. I don't blame them to want to get their degree and leave, but that plays a really big role, and that's why I also want to go back to say, like, you can only take on so much, and taking on the fact that other people aren't stepping up and don't have the same expectations, morals, and values or drives that you do, you know, can be very disheartening and overwhelming to you as a Black man, to the Black community that are trying. So take into account those who are showing up. You know what I mean? Appreciate those who are showing up, because those same faces got the same drive that you do. Looking at the bigger amount and how many shoulda, coulda, woulda isn't going to be your friend at the end of the day. So appreciate those that are there. And I know you mentioned something about the Black Greeks or whatever, with a personal connection to some of them. I'm also aware that sometimes, for one, yeah, the school does make it hard for them to process and progress and do what they need to do. But also that nonchalant, complacent attitude that sometimes can hinder them as well. You know what I'm saying? So that also causes rift between administration and individuals, and Black or white. You know what I mean? And there's only Divine Nine?
Mm-hmm.
And there's like, God knows how many of them those other organizations there are. So we naturally are less than them in terms of numbers. But they have houses, whether or not they're meeting the requirements that the school has for them to be able to be present on their houses and on campus. There's that. Their GPA, it's a bunch of other factors. You know, school is a big factor. Being involved and being a civilized person in society is a big factor. Whether everybody is doing their part, we don't know that. Whatever their situation is that's causing them not to do their part, we don't know that either. So appreciate those that are here and showing up, and work with those who are here and showing up. That's just my last tidbit on that.
Thank you, Kareen. And if anybody has any questions about the program or just about like mental health in general, you all can reach out to Kareen or myself or Justice. She's supposed to be here too, but y'all can reach out to her too. So some resources that I have found online were the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, like I talked about earlier, between the ages of 15 to 24. I think I said 30% of African Americans commit suicide. And there's also the substance abuse mental health services, the numbers there too, and also the National Alliance on Mental Illness. I did add 2 links in here, Therapy for Black Girls and Therapy for Black Men. The Therapy for Black Girls actually does a podcast every week. I've listened to their podcast and it's really good. And you can see that that's the lady right there. And then the Therapy for Black Men, they don't have a podcast, but they do a blog. So you all can look at that to see if that'll help you all, anything like that. Jeremiah, I think you can go to the next.
Cool. Oh, we're on for asking her Shirley, which is our last part of the meeting. This meeting has been really heavy. So everybody take care of themselves. This is the fun part of our meeting. It says, this is the submission. My boyfriend gets mad at me for dumb things like making him plan our dates and not posting him on social media. I don't think it's a big deal, but am I wrong? I think he's just extra. What do you guys think about this?
Girl, what? You getting mad at you for doing simple things? Okay, I'm sorry. I don't have nothing to say for real. That was just my reaction to reading it.
Soraya, I mean, you go ahead. You already passionate.
I ain't passionate.
Anybody want to go? Anybody want to speak?
Yeah, I feel like that's. See, me personally, I'm grown, so that really don't count for me. Like posting on social media, like I'm real low key person. Like if I wouldn't ask her to plan dates. I mean, I feel like it's my job as a man to, like, you know, initiate the date, different things like that to show my girl appreciation. But as far as like posting on social media, I really don't care. If they see me, they do. If they don't, they don't. I just feel like if you guys know where your loyalty lies, I feel like it's not no real argument right there. Like, why are you not posting on social media? If you know who that person is and where that person sit with you, what you worried about everybody else for? What you want an image on what everybody else think of you. So,
yeah. Anybody else?
Like, do she not like him for real? Like, I'm confused. Like, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, why is he so? I don't understand. It's been so long since I posted somebody on social media. I do not relate to that right now. But like, I just don't know. Like, maybe I just don't think the girl really liked this boy. Like, this don't need to be your boyfriend. This needs to be your bae or something of that nature, because maybe y'all need to just be friends. Maybe that's what it is. And why is he so upset? Like, that's my thing. He needs to be here talking about mental health, because why is he so upset about these things? Like, why does that make you mad? Like, personally, that could be me, because I would laugh dead in his face. Like, you so upset over nothing.
Maybe he didn't feel appreciated on Sweetest Day.
Maybe he.
Because it was a real drought.
I agree with you. Hey, y'all, it's Kayla. Sorry, but I agree with you. I think that they shouldn't be together, because if you have to make your boyfriend, you know, be involved in planning dates, then, girl, he not that interested in you. Leave him alone. Run.
Say it, babe.
Yeah. I just think that ain't it. They need to break up.
Honestly, I mean, dates can be a mutual thing. Like, you know, I plan a date this time, she planned a date the next time, and we go tit for tat. I mean, it is equality. It is a relationship, and we both got to put in work to make this thing work. Now, as far as posting on social media, like, I can say I'm a very private person. I don't like everybody in my business or in my relationship business. So, I mean, posting on social media is not really a requirement. Like, we can take a couple cute photos and put them up there. I had Merry Christmas, right? But at the same time, you know, that recognition is all that. Your substance relies within the relationship between you and that person, not on what the media interprets as your relationship. I think what she needs to do is honestly reevaluate her situation. Like, does she really want to be with him? Because she complaining about simple stuff. The social media, really, I don't care about it. Girl, forget all that. That's stupid. But as far as making him plan dates, how about you show some initiatives to take some dates? Have you shown that initiative? Or are you just making, are you now making him do something? Is this an entanglement that turned over into a relationship?
No, Jeremiah, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. No, I just don't like that because I feel like I agree with Kayla. If you have to make your boyfriend plan a date, you don't need to meet with him. That's just like sending him hints or you proposing, which is a man's job. You look like a goofy for doing that. You don't do that.
We sure don't.
He really likes you and he wants to be in a relationship with you, whatever the case may be. He's gonna plan those dates. Like, yeah, you can plan dates too, but that's supposed to be his job. He's supposed to be planning all the cute dates. You don't need to.
That's a gender role type of thing.
No,
because
they always gonna separate it in their favor. You feel me?
Right, that's what I'm saying.
That be fucked up.
I want to be treated too. I want to be catered to.
So you ask for that. That's what Sweetie's Day is for. That's not.
But no, maybe I had a hard day and I want my back rubbed. Like I ain't gotta.
So you need to say
like I want to cater to my woman. Don't get me wrong. I'm always gonna do that. But sometimes I want to be catered to too as a man, knowing that she thought about me.
This what she just said, right? She just said if you want that, ask for that. So if you want to go on a specific day, like, hey, I want to go kayaking, just say that shit. Like you supposed to know, like, she want to go kayaking. Let's go row a boat or some shit. Like, nah, say that. You feel me?
I read books and signs. I don't read minds. So if you want something, you better say it.
You want a cute date, you better say it.
I think we need more information because maybe he mad because he always got to plan the dates. And personally, I don't see the problem in planning the date every once in a while. So if I'm always asking you to plan it, I can see where his frustration will come from. Because if the roles were reversed, I'd be like, dang, like, why am I the only one that's saying let's go to the movies or something? Like, you're not interested in me? Like, what's wrong? But then also the posting on social media thing, people be sneaky whether they post you or not. So I don't think that matters. Yeah. That's all I got to say about it.
Well, I don't know.
I got a question. So, like, if you post somebody on social media and, like, you put an emoji over their face, does that still count? Because I do that.
No face,
That don't necessarily mean that's they, though.
No face, no face. That's goofy. Don't post me. Don't post me.
Just because you post somebody with a heart emoji don't mean that's bae. It could be somebody that you're talking to.
Maybe they think you ugly and they don't want people to know that you ugly. Maybe they did that. But if you want to put an emoji over my face, don't post me. Matter of fact,
don't post me. Don't post me. You go put an emoji over my face. I need to be known.
Right, I need to be seen if you're going to post
me. I'm not ugly, so you ain't got to do that either.
You're a player, G.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. I just feel like it's no case. I agree. And
y'all say that now. Y'all say that. As soon as put an emoji over y'all face, why that emoji over my face?
I put it on my private. I put face on my private. I don't put him on my public though.
A private life is a happy life. Period. On that.
All right, we moving into announcements.
Wait, hey, we got announcements over here. Yes, hi.
Okay.
Y'all go first. So
hey, Zetas.
Hey. So we are the women of Zeta Phi Beta. I'm the president of Omicron Delta chapter of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. We'll be having I don't want to say bi-weekly, but we're having another fundraiser. It's the same one that we did last Wednesday. It'll be October 28th, and it's for October awareness. So we will be focusing on domestic violence and breast cancer, and we will be taking donations for those too. But also the same night, October 28th at 6:20 p.m., we will be having a breast cancer forum via Zoom. And so you guys can be on the lookout for the link. I could also drop our Instagram again for anybody who missed it last time. So you guys could be in touch with those two events. And for those who donated, that is where we're announcing the giveaway winner. So you have to stay until the end of the event to know if you won or not. Yes. And then on Friday, EIU's MPHC, we're hosting our spooky scavenger hunt. So meet us in the South Quad is going to be from 5 to 8 p.m. And yeah.
Thank you so much, ladies. I do have an announcement. BSU will be hosting an open mic on that same day on Friday at 6 p.m. 6 to 7:30. I'm about to drop the link. The flyer will be posted via Instagram Live tonight. I'm via Instagram tonight, and I'm going to send the link if anybody wants to perform for the open mic. So,
all the details, I'll verbally go ahead and say it. It is Friday the 30th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. You do have to sign up because you just can't get on there and just, do your thing. We would like to see it, but we have to be decent and in order. What else? All acts are to be from 5 to 7 minutes long, somewhere in that ballpark. And depending on your act, it is subject to preview because we want to keep the profanity and such, to a minimum. But yeah, y'all can go ahead and sign up and, come show us. It's not a talent show. Please don't expect no prizes because it is not that. We love you, and you will get some recognition and some love. That's all we can offer.
It's all about love, free expression, and just us, coming together in these times as a community. So if you guys would like
and you can't come for fun. You don't have to do anything, but you could come and watch.
Right, you come for the fun. I mean, I got something that I want to spit on the mic. Y'all already know what it is. So anybody else? Any more announcements?
So, yeah, I want to say that BSU will be having some upcoming fun events. So just be on the lookout for their Instagram page and also check your emails.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey,
Okay.
Sahil.
Hey. NAACP, like you guys heard, is having a voting week. We're doing events every single day. And just a special thing, Wednesday, we're having a game night and it's Jeopardy, and there's going to be monetary prizes too. So I hope to see some of y'all there. That's all.
That's cool. Thank you so much, Sahil. Also, on November 3rd, for Election Day, BSU will be hosting a watch party for all of us to watch the election together because we got to watch it together. No matter what the outcome is, we just need to be here for each other. Is that cool? All right, cool. Also, announcement, we got the Miss Black EIU 2021 informational. It will be on November 10th, 2020 from 7 to 8 p.m. Michaela, our Miss Black EIU from last year, she is here. So if you have questions, please get to Michaela.
You guys can email me directly to RSVP. My lovely pageant sister, Shariah Campbell, will also be present for the informational. So if it's something you guys are interested in, even just ask questions, that's cool too. Yeah, so you guys can just email me directly to RSVP so I can send you the link the day of.
Can I come?
Yeah, just for you. Special invitation.
All right, we on the shout outs. Shout out to y'all. Really, shout out to y'all.
Yeah, shout out to y'all, bro. For real.
Like for real. Like we love to see it. Like we love to see it. Oh, the reason why I went went into my email because I'm sending the Zoom link for the Zeta's events. The Zeta.
No, thank you.
Any other shout outs?
I want to say shout out to all the active Black organizations, the ones we were talking about earlier, because it be hard out here, y'all, coming up with events for people, getting people to come out. So I just applaud y'all for coming up with fun and creative, but also events like this one to help everybody with more serious topics like mental health that we don't really speak on. So, shout out to y'all for working hard.
Hey, appreciate it. Love, man.
Shout out to our GA star. She always coming in the clutch.
Real.
Y'all don't
Period.
start
She always coming
And
through
that's
for
so
us. Y'all
period.
just don't know.
Coming in clutch.
And that's so period.
Boy, she be LeBron and stuff. Boy, she
Oh,
came
she
in
do be
clutch
LeBron.
on me.
And
Yeah, coming
can
through.
you exec and Michaela stay back for about 5 minutes?
Got you.
Okay.
That's cool. And you
Okay.
guys are set free. We have adjourned. Thank you guys for coming. We miss y'all.
Y'all,
Real, man.
And we will see
there
y'all
is
at
no
the
meeting
open
next
mic.
Monday. Oh yeah, we'll see you at the open mic. But there
We will
is
see
no
you at the
meeting
open
next
mic.
Monday on the 2nd.
But on the 3rd,
Wow.
we're having the watch party for the election.
And go vote. Go vote.
And go
Go
vote.
vote.
And mail in your mail-in ballot in case you didn't do it yet. Like
And
me.
Y'all be careful too. Y'all
email.
know when the election comes, it's gonna be
Yes, and please
crazy.
check your emails for the link for the watch party.
All right.
Y'all.
It's gonna be via Zoom.
Y'all.
See y'all.
Peace, love and hair grease. Wear your mask. Wash your hands. Be safe. All of that good stuff. Get some sleep. Drink